Welcome to AlexGs Aquarium, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about electrical systems and aquariums. Now, I've often felt that people seem to neglect the whole electricity side of their aquarium, which unfortunately, having electrical power to run your system is an extremely important thing. Not only from the fact that it keeps your animals alive, but it also is important because, one, you need to find out your power consumption. What kind of stuff do you have on these circuits, or can you run dedicated circuits for this? And also, more important than anything, what kind of safety features do you have on these circuits that are going for your aquarium? And are they going to provide you adequate protections for not only you, but your home as well? I'm going to go over my electrical system that I have in my aquarium setup right now. And given that I'm in the basement and I have a 1,600 gallon system, I know I have a lot of electrical needs here. So I took the time and I installed two 20 amp circuits on the electrical panel all by themselves. There's nothing else on these except for aquarium related devices, which is something that I wanted because that way if emergencies happen and I could have someone have a quick, these are the only two breakers that you have to worry about, and label them up, it's a nice convenient thing, and it's a safety thing too. I'll get more into that here as we kind of go along. Now, for my two circuits, I'm running a ton of receptacles. I have a total of 24 receptacles over the top of the aquariums, and I have another 28 receptacles that I wired back here. Now I know it's a lot. Am I ever going to use all of them? I doubt it. I know I'd overload a 20 amp breaker if I did that. And even at 40 amps between the two of them, probably be pushing my luck with that if I had a lot of devices on there drawing power. But I did it for convenience. And that's one of those things, if you're building a large system or even a smaller system and you have some construction going on, take the time to get extra receptacles installed and put them on dedicated circuits if you can. The reason I went with two 20 amp circuits, it was the first kind of layer of redundancy I wanted to have in my aquarium. Every one of these receptacle boxes back here, it has two receptacles on it, one for each circuit. And I split them on every single box that I've installed. And one of the primary reasons for that is that when I start this aquarium up, certain devices are going to go on one circuit and certain devices are going to go on the other circuit. So if I trip a breaker for some reason, that it won't necessarily trip the other breaker, and it could save me from losing all the life support systems of my aquarium. And the other reason is that I wanted to have a good safety factor built into this. So I've put both of these circuits on a GFCI, which GFCI stands for ground fault interrupter. And it's an important safety device for you as the aquarist right there, your friends, your family, or anyone that's going to be close to your aquarium. And that device is a protection device for you because its whole purpose is if a ground fault is connected, which if you're not familiar with that, if electricity goes to ground, which is the lowest prong on your plug, that is going to allow the electricity a path to flow back to a ground source. Now, if you happen to be that ground source, you will be the one getting electrocuted. A ground fault circuit interrupter's whole purpose is if a ground fault is detected, it will shut the power off on that circuit and potentially save your life. I can honestly say, from unfortunately a few bad experiences, I have been electrocuted by aquariums. In part completely accidental, and in part I even did it once on my own and I should have known better, but something got wet. I was kind of panicked and said I have to shut this off and unplug it, and when I touched it I started getting electrocuted. Fortunately I was able to release myself from it and let go, but it wasn't on a ground fault circuit interrupter on that. There was no outlet, receptacle, or breaker that was set up for that. And it kind of, when you get electrocuted a couple times, it changes your mind about these safety devices because it's not fun. Off of the circuit breakers, all the electrical wires run into a first box with two GFCI receptacles that are 20 amp rated. And those then split off to all the different receptacle boxes here. So everything that is downstream from those is set up to where it should trip that GFCI if some kind of safety issue happens. Now, another thing that has also come up, which is a little bit more of a recent safety device, is something called an AFCI. And that is an arc fault circuit interrupter. Now, its whole purpose is if your hot and neutral wire start to have an arc generated between them, it will kill the circuit and stop energy from flowing. Now that's an important safety feature as a fire prevention hazard. And it might not save your life like a ground fault circuit interrupter would in the same way where you're getting electrocuted, but it can stop a fire from happening in your home and potentially destroying the whole thing. I went with that in part just due to the fact that, when I had water overflow on a device, the thing was starting to spark and I could hear it crackling, and that's in part why I was trying to unplug it so quickly. If you're not home, especially, that even makes it another danger that's happened. And I have seen a number of people that have had burned out receptacles, and I've even seen a couple people on the Reef to Reef forum that have had fires break out. And I cannot imagine, one, the devastation of having to go through an event like that, and two, knowing that it's something that you could have ultimately had a chance of preventing. It's not to say it won't stop it for everything, but that's why I decided to go with those AFCI breakers instead. And you can mix them with the ground fault circuit interrupter. They also have something else that's called a DFCI, which is the dual fault circuit interrupter that has both the ground fault and the arc fault built into the breaker themselves. So you don't even have to wire receptacles if you don't want to. As long as everything is wired properly with the hot, neutral, and ground, it should function for everything. If you don't know how to do this kind of stuff, hire a professional to do it, and always be careful with safety on electricity because it can potentially kill you. So that was kind of just a little bit of an overview of my electrical systems. I'm not done with them yet either. I also have a generator. I would recommend, once anyone's getting into the aquarium hobby and starting to get a lot of stuff, start to think about having backup power sources. You want to consider battery backup. Personally, I think it is a very good temp solution. I think everybody's first line of defense over anything else is you need to have battery operated air pumps available with batteries, air stones, and some weights and airline tubing to where if something happens, especially if you're not home, somebody can have a kit available with that stuff and be able to quickly toss it into the tank and at least provide oxygen. Then you can have them start worrying about getting a generator running on your home, or at least give you some time to get home and get that stuff running. The generator themselves too, that's something else that'll have its own little procedure and plan, and that's something I plan to take pretty seriously with the amount of water and ultimately the amount of money and livestock that's going to be in these tanks. People have 10 and 15 gallon reef aquariums with several $1,000s worth of stuff in them. It's going to build up over time in these tanks as well, and I want to protect my investment. To be honest, spending $500 to $1,000 on a generator, that's not really a whole lot of money when you think about it. If you got $10,000 or $20,000 worth of animals that can die, and your insurance company's not covering that. If they do, I'll be very shocked, and I'd hate to know what the premium is on that policy to keep. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to walk everybody through my electrical system here real quick. Alright guys, so start off overviewing the electrical system here. The first thing is these two 20 amp AFCI breakers that have been installed here coming out of the main panel. First stop here coming out of the box is the two GFCI receptacles that are both rated for 20 amps. And then I break off on one side here and I have outlets over each one of the tanks. Did a total of 12 outlets in line. 3 boxes over each tank. These will get waterproof covers once I get my ceiling plastic up. And the other direction off of here runs into my fish room. And from the fish room here, go into a quick junction box, come down into my first outlet here, and basically we go through all of our outlet boxes here. So I got 2 here, and then a final one here. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. I know it's not the most interesting topic, being about electrical systems and safety for aquariums, but I think it's an important topic to talk about. And that's why I brought it up, since I just finished my electrical system. I wanted to just share with you guys how I did it and a little bit of, you know, the reasons behind it. I got plumbing videos that are going to be coming up, be getting more supplies in over the next month or two, and I'm really shooting for that target of getting water in these tanks in June. So there's a lot more stuff to come and a lot to get done before it can happen. If you like the video, please like it. If you want to see more on my 1600 gallon system and some of my DIY unboxing, everything that I'm going to be doing on this system, I want to try and film and share with you guys, because I really feel it's a learning experience for me, and I like to share that knowledge with everybody else. So if you want to see more of that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you get any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I'll see you on the next video.